Mexico lost to England with I don't know how much, like how many opportunities, how much time that they had with them being down a man and still could not win. Oh man, I'm just like gutted, dude. I'm gutted. Literally cannot believe it. I'm like in disbelief. They had so many opportunities, like so much time. I don't even want to say they had that many opportunities. Like they didn't create enough opportunities. They kept running the same thing. Like they just had to play more aggressive in that last 30 minutes, 25 minutes. They had an extra, what, 11? Like probably, honestly, 30 minutes that they could have scored. In the last 20, they were just same thing, man. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Just absolutely devastated, man. I think the reason I'm so upset is because I was there, I was in Mexico for that first weekend. Then I came back because I had a project scheduled that had been scheduled for a little while. I come back, do that project, and I'm like, oh, I'll take on one more, squeeze it in real quick, and then I like missed out on all of that energy, dude, at Mexico. Just that run that they had. And then it's like, okay, I'm scheduled to go back on, Thursday, which would have been before the quarterfinal game. So had they won, it'd have been like, all right, I'm going back, still in it, history. It's like, and now they're out. And, America's still in it. Canada's out, so America's the last host country. And, yeah, man, I'm pretty devastated because I gotta say, when it comes to the World Cup, I kind of consider like Mexico my team, you know? And it's all because of that game, 2014, Memo Ochoa against Brazil. And I just remember watching that game and just like, I don't know, man. I just kind of fell in love with like watching Mexico play at the World Cups. Ever since then, it's like Memo Ochoa brought like this magic to the World Cup. Everybody was sharing memes about him being like a wall, and like it just became fun. It's just like, I don't know. And so every World Cup, I look forward to watching Mexico play and just like see what kind of like crazy thing Memo Ochoa could do. And every World Cup, he would. He would have some crazy saves and this and that, and then the dude, retires this last World Cup, and they're on a run, and it's like just one more game, man. And the thing is that like, I'm just upset that I came back home and missed out on all that, like the vibes in Mexico, dude. And even though there's still a good, week and a half maybe of the World Cup, by the time I get there, it'll be the 9th. It'll be like 10 days. 11 days. I don't know. I think the 19th, I would get there the 9th. Oh, man. I just like, yeah, it feels like I'm going to go back and it's just going to be different, And I'm even debating, like, do I want to go back? I almost don't want to go back to Mexico now during the World Cup. I almost want to go later, like after the World Cup. And just kind of let, like, the World Cup, kind of like flush out of my system. And then go back to Mexico as its own trip, as like a trip to Mexico. I almost feel like doing that, as opposed to going back and trying to capture something that's no longer there, Like, yes, there's still the host nation, the co-host nation, and it's like, I'm sure it'll be some crazy vibes, but like now I just feel like there's going to be this residue of defeat in the air, And I'm just really upset that I missed all that. Because I didn't really plan, I didn't plan. I went there on a whim, which was awesome. But I should have had this World Cup planned so much better, and I didn't. And I'm just so upset with myself because it's like, why didn't I? I'm just upset at my lack of vision, in life. Because this is my thing, dude. The Olympics, now the World Cup, like these major sporting worldwide events, like that's my thing. And it's like, why wasn't I prepared for it? I mean, granted, I went to the Olympics, Winter Olympics in February, so it's like, okay, I had a few months. I had more than enough time to plan for this. I could have at least gotten one ticket, like, what? I just want to, like, rewind and be like, what were you doing during that whole time that you could have prepared? What were you doing? It's just, it's been bugging me ever since I came back, honestly. It's been absolutely bugging me, Like, dude, that's a once in a lifetime and you just didn't prepare for it, I mean, yeah, the next World Cup, cool, yeah, for sure, I'll probably go to it. But this one, dude, hosted by Mexico, Canada, and the U.S. It's like, now I feel like I need to go to a game. You know what I mean? Here in the States, because now I don't have a choice. All the games are here. Quarterfinals on, it's in the U.S. But like, now I feel like I need to go to a game. And I mean, hopefully America goes, and makes it to the quarter, because that would be, I would go to one of those if I could. Probably be freaking crazy expensive, but oh, dude, just gutted, man. Like, gutted. Me and my dad have been exchanging memes and following this Mexican buzz, the Mexico run that they've been on, and it's like, just brutal. Yeah, man, so I don't know. I just feel like I feel defeated from a sports perspective, and I feel self-defeated because it's like, I'm just upset with myself. I feel like watching Mexico lose that game that it could have won. It should have won. Like, Mexico should have won at the Azteca. On the run that they were on, the momentum, they're the host country, you're playing at home, England barely had any time to acclimate. It's like, I feel like I'm watching Mexico, who should have won, and then at the same time I'm like watching my own life, like, why am I not winning to the degree that I know I can, And some people would be like, dude, you went to Mexico for like the opener. You went there for a couple of days. You were in the Zócalo watching the game. That they, it's like, yeah. And that's awesome. I'm grateful for that. But it's like, that was last minute because I just wasn't prepared. And I barely even went to that. Once again, my dad was like, dude, you should just go, man, go. And it's like, why am I not able, and it's going to sound crazy, but like, why am I not able to be there for longer? 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sure, I mean, not everyone can just do that. I understand that. But it's like, why can't I? Why was I not prepared enough to do that? Why didn't I set enough like logistics and everything aside for that to be possible? it's like this could be the biggest gift ever, or it could be the biggest, just it's going to be a painful gift, but it could be a blessing in disguise, because I realize like I need to look ahead more in life, dude. And just not be so like right here and just I gotta get this done, and it's like yeah, I don't know, maybe somebody watching this feels that way, where it's like you just feel like you could be doing more, you could be doing better, and then you see something like an opportunity, something cool you could be doing, and you're like, why am I not doing that? Why am I not there? And the crazy thing is that I would have been going back. I mean, I still probably will. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can find if there's any tickets that are available that aren't absolutely ridiculously expensive. But it's like, even if I go back to Mexico, I just feel like it's going to be different, man. And yeah, I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about. It's past like 2 weeks since I came back. Week and a half, I don't know. 2 weeks. So yeah, I think the lesson of this video is that vision, it's paradigm and vision. Like, how far ahead is your vision for life? How wide is it? What is your vision? Like, how grand do you see your life becoming? Do you see the cool things you could be doing? And then are you planning for them? Like, do you even see them? Are they even in your like field of view? Are they in your driver's like windshield view? Like, can you even see those incredible opportunities and cool things you could be doing? And then if you do, like, how far away is it from you? Is it something that you're planning for? Or is it something that you see that's just so far away that you're like, I can't even, I'll never reach that, or like, I just, so distant, It's like, and for me, the World Cup was not something that was distant. I've gone to the Olympics before. Like, the World Cup was something that I'm like, yeah, of course I'll be at some, but like, I wasn't. It just like, it just slipped my mind until all of a sudden I was like, oh shit, the World Cup is like coming up. And if I wouldn't have gone to Mexico for that opener, like, I would have just completely missed it. Like, at least I have that. But for me, that's not like, it's not enough, if I'm being honest with you. Because I'm into this stuff, not everyone cares about the World Cup, so they're like, whatever. But like, to me, the Olympics, World Cup, like these, dude, like the worldwide events, man, like once every 4 years. And I just wasn't prepared for it, to really experience it the way that I would have liked to experience it. Not at home watching it on TV. Now, granted, I was able to watch it with my dad, and that was probably the silver lining in this whole thing, is that at least I got to watch it with my dad. We got to watch Mexico together, share memes throughout the day, watch certain games. Like, we watched all the Mexico games like at a restaurant. Of course, that restaurant tonight, apparently there was a pipe that burst over the weekend, so they canceled everyone's reservations. Watched it at another place, but oh man, I don't know. Maybe I go back to Mexico and it's even better than I could have imagined. I don't know. I just, right now, it's like, that's just what's on my mind, It's like, obviously just heartbroken that Mexico's done, that Memo Ochoa is retiring. It feels like the end of an era, It feels like that magic that, he used to bring to the World Cups for me personally is gone. And it felt like tonight was like the last little bit of that magic. Like, can they do it, even if they would have lost in the quarters, I would have been fine with that. You know, it would have been less heartbreaking because they lost at the Azteca. You know what I mean? They lost at the Azteca, and they had the opportunity to cement that place as a fortress in the minds of the world. They had the opportunity to make people think, wow, dude, the Azteca really is like holy ground. Like, that is a fortress. And now it's like, yeah, they got a pretty awesome record there, but you know, you could still go there. I mean, you could win there. I don't know, man. Just a lot of things. Just so many different emotions right now. Part of it's like just the game, but more so, it's myself. It's, I don't even care if they would have lost tonight. I mean, it would have, either way it sucks, but like, I would have cared less if I was in Mexico watching it. I think that's what bugs me the most, you know? Like, I want my vision to be that big that I get disappointed at shit like that. You know, like, I want my vision to be so big that I'm like, and I am upset in this kind of way, but I want my vision to be so big that I'm like, why didn't I take my dad to a game? You know? Why didn't I take my dad to a game in Mexico to watch Mexico play? Mexico City, where he's from. Like, why isn't that in my, like, why can't I do that? It would have been crazy expensive, sure. But, like, why wasn't I saving up for that? You know what I mean? Why wasn't I thinking of that? Once in a lifetime. That's gone forever now. Yeah, maybe in the future I take him to the world, but like, it won't be in Mexico. He won't watch Mexico play in Mexico. And I had the opportunity to make that happen. And I didn't. Because I just didn't think about it. It's like, why? You know, I realized lately that, like, I need to become more conscious of my life. Of the opportunities that are around me right now. Because I'm only getting older, time is only speeding up, and windows of opportunity to do really cool things shrinks as you get older, man. It's like, that's it. Mexico's not going to host the World Cup again in my lifetime, and certainly not my dad's. That opportunity is now gone. Can I do something kind of cool? Yeah, I mean, I could take him to a game in Mexico or something like that. But, like, my dad is all about the Olympics, too, and the World Cup. You know, it would have meant the world if I could have done that for him. And I think really that's what bugs me. That I'm not, like, in a position in my life where I could just do that, like, easily, you know? It's like, if I would have bought tickets early on when they were a couple $100 instead of a couple thousand, then it's doable, man. You know, that's something I could have at least gotten, like, group stage. So, this is a painful lesson, but it's a very valuable lesson, which is to slow down and become present to my life. Okay? You know, you hear people say I'm going to be working on my business instead of in my business, right? When you actually can get to a certain point, you start working on your business instead of just working in your business, okay? Which means, like, you start to have a bird's eye view of what you're doing, and you see the whole business for what it is, as opposed to just being in it, and you're kind of like, oh, I'm getting this done and I'm doing that, and it's like, right? And you're kind of like in the weeds. You can't see the forest for the trees. And I feel like that's what I need with my life. It's to have a bigger vision and a bigger bird's eye view of everything, and being present. Like, okay, what opportunities are around me right now? Which of these opportunities are rare and fleeting, scarce, that I need to seize? Like, so yeah, I think that's just really what bugs me. Is that I just know there's more in the tank. I have more to give, more to do, to offer, to more to live. It's like I just have more in me, and it's like it's not out yet, and it's bugging me. And it's like seeing Mexico like so close to winning when they had all of the advantages. It's like I almost saw myself in that game. It's like you have everything that you need. Everything. You have all the gear you could possibly need. You have the talent. You have the skills. You have the ambition. But it's like I could tell that Mexico was playing scared in those last like 20 minutes. Nobody was just like, let's fucking win this. They just kept doing the same safe kind of play and like hoping that, let's just send this cross in, and maybe someone's gonna head it in or corner. It's like, but nobody really just fucking took it in. It's crazy, the reflection of sports in life. But I just felt like I wanted to make this video because somebody out there might resonate with this, relate to this. I've always said that. I've always said, I like to play basketball. Haven't played much of it in the last like year because I hurt my back. But I've always played ball, and I've always noticed that you can tell a lot about a person by how they play ball. And I've heard this now. Like now I've heard people kind of like say this on TikToks and stuff. Like, but you can tell a lot by how somebody plays ball. Do they hustle? Do they call fouls when like the game's on the line? Start getting ticky-tack fouls? Do they call their own fouls? Do they honor when they call someone? When someone calls their foul? Do they cheat? Like, do they play aggressively? Do they rag on their team or do they uplift their team? It's like you can tell a lot about how somebody plays a sport, about their character. And I think, it's just like sport has the ability to show you a lot about yourself. When you play, obviously, but then also even like who you're rooting for. It's like what energy do you identify with? Like what is it that when you root for a team, it's like it's more than just the fact that maybe it's like your home team. Some people don't even root for like the actual home team. They root for, another city or another whatever. It's like what is it about that you identify with? What is the energy of that team that you identify with that makes you want to root for them? Because there's something there, right? There's like a correlation, like a mirror image. You see yourself in that team to a certain degree. And it's like, what is it exactly that you are rooting for? Do you feel like you're an underdog in life and you're rooting for this underdog team that maybe they can make it? That becomes like an addiction almost, where it's like constantly like feeling like this underdog that eventually is going to make it, as opposed to just identifying as a champion, and then being a champion. I just think there's a lot about, a lot to that, where it's like who you're rooting for and your own identity. Oh man. Yeah, really, really rough. It was a rough one. I genuinely not sure. Like, do I go to Mexico or do I just maybe try to catch a game, or maybe just do a little road trip here in the States and watch some games at a couple fan zones. I don't even know. I definitely just like, man, I'm so upset with myself. You know, and I think that'll be something I'll have to do. So I literally have to forgive myself. Be like, you know, man, let that be a lesson. Have better vision. You know, slow down. Plan. You know, plan your life. Plan the things you want to do, the things that are important to you. Plan for them. So that when you do experience them, you feel like, hey, I did it the best I could. And everything else is left up to, you know, life, chance, you know, left up to just, yeah, life. But this time, I could have played that so much better. I had all that time and I just didn't play it well enough, just like Mexico. Just like Mexico in that game. All the time that they really needed. They had more than enough time. Just gutted. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the World Cup, but that is definitely a rough one. Anyways, peeps, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully you got something out of it other than hearing me cry about this Mexico loss. But, you know, that's how it is, man. That's the cup, you know? That's how it is. Hopefully you got something out of this. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna make I'll make some videos about that process, you know? Of creating that vision for your life and getting after it, because I'm sick and tired of wanting it. I'm sick and tired of like that gap, you know, of like I'm here and here's that life. I'm sick and tired of looking at that gap and being like, oh, it'd be so nice if. In a lot of ways, I can already have a lot of the parts of that life that I want. I'm not like totally there, but there's a lot that I could actually already be experiencing if I planned better, if I managed my time better, if I had a longer and wider vision for my life, and slow down. So I'm going to make content on that. I'm going to make that a priority. And, you know, congrats to England for winning. You guys went to the Azteca, and you guys took that game. Both teams got chippy. Both teams, you know, wanted it. You know, played within, bended the rules a little bit, and, you know, England ended up winning. So cheers to England, and hope you guys do well in the rest of the Cup. And I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the Cup and just seeing how America does. Canada's out, Mexico's out, so hopefully the last host nation can make history themselves and get as far as they possibly can. And may the best team win this World Cup, man. Either way, it's been a heck of a ride. It always is, you know. And this is part of that. This is part of the game, man. You know, this is part of the Cup. It's like, this is what makes it so special, is that it's every 4 years. If it was every year, you know, it's still special, but every 4 years, it just makes it a bigger deal, because you're like, man, a lot of things change in 4 years. Players retire, you know, teams don't make it back. It's like, that's what makes it so freaking special. And so there's almost a feeling of inclusion when your team loses in such a way, because you know that, you know what, every other team's also felt that at some point. There's only so many people, so many teams that have won the World Cup, so just about every other team has felt what you're probably feeling. So there's a weird feeling of inclusion with that, where it's like, well, somebody else has been in this same exact position of like, damn, they almost had it. So that's what makes this whole thing so special, man. The World Cup and even life, you know, the fact that we're all trying to do our best, and we all just want to win at life. And that might look different for you than it does for me. Your definition of winning at life could be something totally different, but we all want that cup. You know, we want that trophy to look at our life and be like, this is how I envision living it. And I think that's really the moral of this video, is like, let's get that, man. Let's make that a reality, you know? So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let's go, baby. Let's get it.